if you didn't already know, Njan Prakashan is my favorite Malayalam film ever made. Is it a masterpiece? Hell yeah! And I'm going to explain to you why this film works. For me, this is Dan Harmon's story circle, and many of your favorite films follow this structure for the most part. They are the characters in a zone of comfort, but they want something. They enter an unfamiliar situation, they adapt to it, they get what they wanted, pay a heavy price, and then they return to their familiar situation, having changed. So, let's break down this film to its structure. Number 1. Character is in a zone of comfort. Our protagonist is Prakash and he is a very well written character. In an era where South Indian superstars' characters are meant to be loved and idolized by everyone, Fahad Fasil plays a character who we are meant to dislike. He is kind of a jerk, but that's the setup of his character arc. He's a male nurse and is in a zone of comfort, and we get an understanding of his character. He creepily stalks a girl he likes, making him a douche. Then he meets an old college friend Salome, and new information is introduced to him and us as he now knows that a nurse job in Germany will get him buttloads of cash. And so now we get into step 2. Number 2. This now establishes Prakash's want to go away from Kerala and go to Germany because of the money he will receive there as his salary. So now we have his want to keep the plot going forward, but also sets up Prakash's greedy nature. Also, he calls himself Akash now, PR Akash, and he lets everyone know that every time someone mentions him. And so he gets to know from his friend Gopal that if he's married to someone going to Germany, he can easily get a visa. And so he begins to try and woo Salome. This is great because it has a love story plotline, but it's not like those usual films where the love storyline is just for the sake of it, but here it's used to move the plot forward as Prakash attempts to achieve his want. And with his smooth charm and comedic timings, Akash manages to get Salome's love, and he even attends Germany's learning classes to show how serious he is. And then he lies to her parents and they accept him. As time passes by, he does a lot for her family and they grow to love him even more. And so now, an obstacle enters his path. Prakash and Salome need 3 lakhs to go to Germany. So then he asks his friend Gopal, who isn't very fond of him, to steal his wife's necklace and will repay him later. And this makes for some hilarious moments. But I like that after he gets the necklace, we instantly cut to Prakash handing the money to Salome's parents. That is genius editing, as it straight away cuts to what we need to see and doesn't question the audience's intelligence. We even get to know that Prakash plans to divorce Salome right after reaching Germany, continuing his douche personality. And then, as things seem to be going just fine and Prakash is going to get married, another obstacle occurs. Salome's father is ill. He clearly is annoyed but still wants to go to Germany. And since Salome is so worried about her father, he tells her to go to Germany alone and that he will come to her soon. And so we are in a new situation as Prakash assists Salome's family, and he genuinely seems like a nice person, and we slightly grow to like him. But then, on realizing that she cheated on him to marry someone in Germany, he immediately ditches her family, visually letting us know that all the love and affection for her family was just an act. He's still a jerk. Now, knowing that he had been scammed, Prakash enters an unfamiliar situation. He doesn't know what to do, and so Gopal makes him do work to repay for the necklace. And then he enters yet another unfamiliar situation where he gets a job as a nurse to a sick girl, Tina. Now the situation seems comfortable at first. Everyone says that this girl is quite dangerous, but she's nice. Prakash talks to her and he has a good feeling about her. But then she unleashes her dog to chase him down the house, subverting the audience's expectations effectively. Of course, over the film, Prakash befriends Tina's friend Shruti, showing us another possible romance, but it doesn't delve into that too much because, it's not necessary. Prakash eventually adapts to the situation as he understands Tina better and her insecurity about her father leaving her, making her feel empty and sad. But then he befriends her as well and we enjoy their connection. The new information is introduced as Prakash figures out that Tina will soon die from an incurable disease. This makes him and us feel for her even more. In this beautiful scene, Tina talks about how her lack of a father makes her upset in life and how she wishes to see him before her death, and Prakash tells her that she'll soon meet him. Now, Prakash over this period gets what he wants, which is, to earn a good amount of money, and so over time we see him change into caring about Tina. He tells her that living life to the fullest might keep her from death, and so he spends more time with her, brings her friends into the house and makes her feel happy. This was one of the most heartfelt moments in the film. In the scene where he meets Salome, his past self would have been irrational, but this time, he's calm and respectful. Both characters begin to become better versions of themselves, and in a brilliantly shot scene, the camera only follows Prakash. We enter the next step. He pays a heavy price. Tina dies, and the camera zooms in to show Prakash's reaction to add to the seriousness. Everyone's upset, and it's a gloomy time. Prakash is genuinely upset, and we see him differently now because he actually learns to care about someone other than himself. But this gloom doesn't last for long because we know that she died living her life to the fullest. It's a rather positive outlook on death, and that's something good. One thing I loved is in the previous scene it was set up that Tina wanted to meet her father before her death, but you know what? She did. It was Prakash. Prakash was her father figure in a sense, not biologically, but with the amount of love and care he provided her, she got her wish, and that is just so tragic but yet so beautiful. I love the editing here too, as it straight away cuts to her classmates crying out of her house, visually letting us know that she is dead. Again, it doesn't test the audience's intelligence, it knows we are smart enough to understand. Prakash returns to his familiar situation as he works as a nurse in a hospital. And you know what? He's happy about it. I love how we see him wearing pink clothes, but he could be a doctor for all we know. But then we see another woman wearing the same dress, a nurse, visually establishing that Prakash is also a nurse. Now, in the first act of the film, Prakash changed his name to P.R. Akash, and he makes sure everyone knows that by correcting them literally every single time, which makes for some hilariously awkward scenes between the characters. And throughout the film, everyone refers to him as Akash. On meeting Tina's friend Shruti again in the hospital, who supplied her junk food when she was alive, he introduces himself as his original self, Prakash, by saying Njan Prakashan, which means I'm Prakash, the title of the film. And this one single line tells us that now he has changed. Prakash has a character arc of becoming a better and caring person, and we really feel that. Every character is important as firstly, they have their own character with their own quirks and personalities and insecurities. Secondly, they are all in service to Prakash's arc, which is why they are necessary to the film. The story of this film is pretty simple, really. It's about a guy who wants to go to Germany and cannot. But why this film works is in the telling of that story. It's about a selfish man growing to care. That is what storytelling is all about. Despite him not being a good person at first, the reason we still watch him is because since he's so dedicated to achieving his wants, we are engaged to see whether he would actually succeed or not. The music, the performances are something I have to mention, and they are obviously astounding. And I wasn't going to make a video on this film, to be honest, but on seeing no one talk about how effectively this film uses story structure to tell its story, I thought I would analyze it to really tell you why the story of this film is great. Njan Prakashan is a fantastic film, you guys. It's available on Netflix. Give it a watch and tell me how it was. And until next time, I will see you later.